Okay, so to prep Serra 1, on the first base side of the dugout is the equipment shed. That's just a combo lock. You should have the combination for that. There is bases, drag screens, hose, spade, all that equipment is there for you. If you need to use a rake, we keep rakes in two places. So there is rakes that are stored in the batting cages on the far side of center field, or there is the Serra shed here behind the dugout at Serra 1. So you'll find rakes in there as well. So for game preparation, there is several things that are important to know about here. So we have tables stacked up here. Those get set up adjacent to the backstop. You have power here for the sound system and for the scoreboards. We typically set the tables up right here so the scorekeeper can view. Inside the shed, we also have easy ups. We have 2 scoreboard remotes. Those are located on the shelf here. So those things are basically, these are remotes. So to plug it in, pretty self-explanatory systems. They're marked, one for Serra 1 and then one for Serra 2. Since they are remote system, you have to have the right box, otherwise they won't work. Also inside the shed, you have the striping machine. You also have the batter's box template, which is a white metal frame. You can take that out. The barbecue will not be in here during the regular season. We'll get that moved, so there'll be a little bit more space. But you have easy ups. You can use an easy up for the scorer's table. They also will have easy ups for the snack shack. We're going to try to get some additional ones so that we can have those available for spectators. We're going to use flags. So the American flag is stored up in the rafters of the shed. That simply gets inserted into the PVC that is located down the third base dugout. There is a piece of PVC here. You just stick it right in there and you're good to go. To use the scoreboards at Serra Field, they have to be turned on from the scoreboard itself. So the remote box allows you to change and manipulate the scores, but on the back of each panel, there are 2 different switches. So most people who don't have the height will have to go grab a rake, and you basically just flip the switch here, and that sends power to the scoreboards. You have to make sure at the end of every game that you send somebody out to turn those off as well. All right, we walked up to this box, and this is how we found it. Lock, unlocked. So if you're going to use these, please make sure these locked up because equipment disappears. Serra 2, the miners field, along the first base dugout. Behind there's the green box. In the green box, you have bases, you have the drag screen, and there's a rake that gets broken down, and the paint cart. So we will typically have a couple cans of paint in here. If there isn't, you'll need to go run over to the shed that's sitting behind Serra 1, and there's paint in that shed typically. So all your equipment to set the fields up here should be in this box. There's a hose that should be in here. Also, that's missing, so we'll get that. So similar to Deanza Park, we also have a city shed. If you need to patch holes on the infield, there is Turfus that's located inside the shed, the city shed here. That's a 2007 lock, which we'll keep in the snack shack here as well. So if you need that, that is located on the back side of the batting. All right, this is the Serra batting cages. Just one thing to note, this is a tripod that we have for the pitching machines. That one is locked in the upright position, so we keep a bucket over it just to keep the water off it so it doesn't rust too bad. We're gonna have to hit that with some paint. The other thing is, for the orange boxes here, we are changing the way that this is going to be used. So this is now going to revert to a lock box. You can see hanging on the fence there between the boxes. So we're going to keep a key to new locks that are going to be affixed to the boxes. All right, inside the Serra batting cages, one thing that I think is really important when you're unlocking these are recessed locks. That key will be located here on in this lockbox. When you're not using that lockbox, please close that door so it stays dry and doesn't rust out. One of the things that I really want to call out when you're using the batting cages here at Serra, these pitching machines are brand new. There is 2 foam pads that are stored at the bottom of the cage. You have to remove the white tray in order to get to the pitching machines. You cannot force them in there so you lift those racks, pull them out. The pitching machines get set in there on those foam pads. Don't pile anything up on those. These wheels can bend pretty easily. If they bend, the machine is toast. So let's make sure that we keep these functional for everyone to use. Thanks. For Pioneer and T-ball setup at Serra Park, to the southeast of Serra 1 is the Serra backstop field. So we are working to have a box installed here where we will install benches and the paint gun just like we have over at De Anza Park. So until then, most coaches will have bases for games. The T-ball field is located to the east of this field on this patch of grass over on this portion of the park, which is adjacent to the park building. I don't think we're holding any games over on the T-ball field. All T-ball games will be held here at the backstop, so should have that available to you. Box up, lift the spigot cover, insert the bracket, turn to the right to turn the water on. That's it. All she wrote.